Haiti's growing kidnapping for ransom industry has recently turned its focus on the country's education sector, targeting teachers, students, and administrators for abduction. A rash of incidents began last Thursday with the abduction of Alain Sauval, a French national on the management team of the Kiskaya University. He was kidnapped by armed men in the community of Canopy Vert. The following day, 3 employees and 4 school children were kidnapped in a similar fashion while making their way to a learning institution in Mayer, Kwadebuke, an area known to be plagued by gang violence and abductions. The week started on Monday with an attack on Sony Gichar, the director of the Heart of Jesus School, and his private driver. The pair were beset by armed men as they were making their way to the school compound at about 6:45 a.m. Accosted in the vicinity of the Haitian National Palace and the headquarters of the country's armed forces, the school director and the driver resisted the efforts of their would-be abductors. As their struggle began to attract the attention of area bystanders, the frustrated assailants violently beat their targets before abandoning their attempt to spirit away the 2 men. A former mayor of Kwadebuke was not so lucky. Less than 24 hours later, Jean-Jonas Saint-Just and his family were ambushed and robbed inside their vehicle. Saint-Just, administrator of the Jean-Stephen Alexis College, was taken by his attackers along with his son. His wife and a young daughter were left behind. As news of Saint-Just's abduction began to circulate, area residents began to block roads in the community of Monrepo as people tried to stop his kidnappers from taking him out of the area. These incidents have been roundly condemned by the National Confederation of Haitian Teachers, who stressed that Haiti needs a way to secure its schools and educators. These sentiments were echoed by the National Network for the Defense of Human Rights, which deplored the continued acts of terrorism, which have, quote, plunged the population into disarray under the gaze of powerless authorities and threaten future generations which are stripped of access to proper education. The network's executive director, Pierre Esperance, told reporters that kidnappers have gotten very comfortable in the chaos which currently exists in the country, as they are not threatened by the efforts of ineffective law enforcement. Speaking on the apparent social acceptance of kidnappings and ransom negotiations in the country, Esperance appealed to the Haitian press not to normalize the state of affairs. Meanwhile, Haiti's newly appointed Education Minister, Nesmi Manija, disagrees with the assessment of the Teaching Federation, telling the press that schools and education personnel are protected at all times, even if the country is at war. Manija says that discussions are pending with the Ministerial Council to address these unacceptable developments within the sector. In the meantime, Manija says he salutes the courage of school instructors who continue to show up for work despite the increased danger.